Have you checked the children? Your little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
Robert Duell.
Fuego here.
Continuing our Hellraiser review series with something I should have cleared away for, Hellseeker. This is the 6th movie in the franchise, and the reason that I think this one is probably the best of Inferno, Hellseeker, Hellworld, and Deader. I think this is the best of them all because, mainly, it's because Kirsty, it continues her story.
Yeah.
So Kirsty hasn't been in it since part 3. She actually did return for a brief little scene in part 3.
Very tiny bit.
But this is her coming back. She's actually absent from most of the movie, but she's in enough key parts that she did feel like she was a part of this movie.
And the reasoning, though, like, is
Yeah.
I liked that.
The twist reveal. That we
Yep.
So yeah, this one we'll get to what it's about in just a minute. But overall thoughts were I actually kind of enjoy this one. It's my 5th favorite of the series, beyond the first 4, and it's well above like a lot of the rest of them. But yeah, I don't think that this one is too bad. I think the fact that I really liked both leads very much, and the fact that it ended up being a pretty cool story when it all is laid out and it comes together at the end. I dug this movie.
No, same here, and I was actually pleasantly surprised with this movie and actually how much I enjoyed it. I made sure to tell myself, don't think too much basically onto what might happen and everything, because basically a lot of times you can kind of see how things are going to play out. So if you just sit there and watch through this, you're definitely going to enjoy it a lot more, especially with like the ending and things like basically his descent into madness in a sense. Like, I thought that was cool. And we have the Mayhem guy. You know, I like him as an actor. He's a good guy. Not in this though. He's not in this though. He's a fucking schmuck.
Yeah, as we find out as time goes on. This one definitely had, I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't like it, but it was an improvement from 5. I liked the fact that it was a rumination on grief, and that was like the main thing, and, you know, just this guy who, you know, once we get in the story, I mean, loses his wife, and then it's how he deals with, you know, workplace and advances of other women and all this other stuff. It just was, and the ending saves this whole movie for me. By the time we get to the ending, I was like, that was actually a lot better. It almost just like elevated the entirety of everything else I'd seen up to that point.
Because it makes
Because the whole movie's a misdirect until the end.
Yeah.
So that's why I give it more credit, because it was actually a pretty well crafted story, especially utilizing the Hellraiser aspects. Because the story of it is, you know, Mayhem and is with Kirsty, and they're driving, and obviously there's some tension, but they're going to try and work through it. But they lose control of the car, and it goes careening over a bridge into the water.
Kissing while they're driving.
Oh, that's right.
Dumbest thing ever. You're like, what are these people doing?
So they careen over the edge, and Mayhem gets out, but he's unable to free Kirsty from the car, and she goes down with the car. But he then wakes up in the hospital afterwards, and apparently she's missing. And we skip forward in time a little bit where he knows she's missing, but he's maintaining that no, she went down in the car, and we find out from the cops that she actually, like, the doors were open, so that couldn't be the case. Yeah, there's no body, and so, but he's lost his memory after the accident. He's got kind of selective amnesia, and so as he's trying to find his wife, because he doesn't believe that she's dead if the body wasn't found, whatever, that point gets confusing, because sometimes he believes she's dead, sometimes he doesn't, but nonetheless, he starts to rediscover how shitty he was by, you know, getting hit on by girls that he was cheating on his wife with left and right and stuff like that.
Every woman wants to sleep with him in this movie.
Yeah,
just
of course.
about. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, so he's trying to figure out
hallway.
what happened, and slowly the pieces start to come back in, and he starts to remember that he has this, he sees a video that he took of a birthday of Kirsty's where he gave her the box as a gift, and she's like freaks out on him.
She's like, where the hell did you get that?
Yeah,
You know,
and-
why would you give this to me?
But
And
it's
she's
just
pissed.
flashes and stuff, so he's unraveling the mystery. So I was actually wrapped up in it. I got involved in it. I thought it was
Agreed.
a well-crafted story. That's why I think it's actually a good Hellraiser movie. It's just
thought
way
about more
different
in the
from
story.
everything else that
Drastically.
came before. So
Yeah.
I was pleased with how the story played out, and that again. The story is what elevated this one. There was no story to 3, basically. So this one actually had a story, and I think it brought it up tremendously. So I dug the story.
No, most definitely.
Acting-wise, Mayhem and Kirsty I bought into. I bought into the black cop,
I
but
was gonna
not,
say,
not
some
the
of
white
the
cop.
Indian-
Okay,
Yeah.
I would just want to say one thing. I actually like the reveal on them
The cop
was kind of
reveal?
cool because that's the thing. You never saw them in the same
No.
room.
Yeah, where they
No.
Like you never saw them in the same room. So I kind of like that. Yeah, he was that overbearing, kind of unbelievable asshole bad cop and everything. But
And it was a cool effect with the two of them when they did that.
that was,
reveal, I
man.
thought.
Yeah,
It was
that was
very
pretty-
early CG.
It was.
Yeah, well,
it was.
yeah, but you got to think
but it
the
was
budget
cool,
what they're
yeah.
working with too,
Right.
because this one was a direct to video, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
So you only got so much in the bank.
But yeah,
And even some of the kinked out kill scenes I thought were effective.
Oh, yeah.
With, like when the boss came over, and then I also like the fact that he was getting the weird like pin spine.
Oh, the,
treatment,
oh,
whatever
yeah,
stuff,
acupuncture.
yeah,
Acupuncture, yeah. Well, yeah, and the scene basically like his vision of Pinhead coming in and everything, and like,
Thankfully,
that
more
was cool.
Thankfully, more Doug Bradley in this than in the 5th installment. 'Cause he had like
Yes.
one scene practically, at least as Pinhead. You know,
there
you
was
get a little more. in
there
this
was
one.
another cool scene. I can't remember if it was in this one or the previous one, but where there was a patient that got attacked by chains in the middle of a crowded room where there's medical staff and there's just
That
chains hanging in the air
was-
attached to the thing. It was an image when I was looking for thumbnails, so I couldn't remember which one it was from.
I feel like
It was
there's-
either from Inferno or this one, but I think it must have been Inferno. But
No, I'm drawing a blank on that.
Yeah, I was about
That's
to
okay.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can picture the scene. I just I can't.
yeah, I can't.
remember.
It was a quick, brief flashback. Someone found a story about something they'd heard about the box, and that
Yeah.
was a little quick scene. But yeah, I mean, Hellseeker was good. You got
It's
more
not bad.
Pinhead. You know, I dug it, and not only that, but you got Pinhead versus Kirsty again. And
Yeah.
you had that confrontation where they were like, they basically said, you know, we've just been waiting. You know, we knew we'd see you again. And
Yeah.
all this, and it's really cool. Again, I dug it because I'm a big fan of sequelizing that's done right, and this is continuing the story of the girl that I cared the most about in the first 2 movies. So I like it. I
And
like it.
basically, in like watching form, like I would say this would be a good one to watch. Maybe definitely after 2, in between 3 and 4, kind of, and everything.
I would still just wait and watch it after 4,
Eh,
personally, because it feels like a good amount of time has passed.
true.
Because she does, you know, she is older.
It's actually
Yeah.
funny.
20 years later.
True.
you know?
Yeah.
Didn't recognize her right away because so much time had gone by.
Oh, really?
And I
Well,
was
she's
like,
got straight hair too
yeah,
instead
and
of
I was
those
like,
wavy
is-
hair.
Is that who
Is
I
that
think
80s
it
hair, you
is?
know?
And then,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I just like the fact that they returned to the idea of her being this worthy adversary, which they also do in the comic books as well, which is pretty sweet.
The fact that it was 20 years later, she still looked phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
She was always a very
Yeah,
very
she-
pretty lady.
man,
If I'm gonna
good
be
for
classy
her.
about it.
Good
yeah.
for her. So
Aging gracefully.
there you go, guys. I think that's going to cover our thoughts. What did we touch on the effects pretty much?
A little
little
bit
bit,
and everything.
yeah.
The effects, actually, I will say this: they were fucking cool. Like they were definitely bloody. Like they didn't really cut away on with like even some like the previous installments on some of the kills. Like in the previous one we mentioned with the Cheddar Beast,
Yeah.
and everything.
They had to
like,
cut away, yeah.
Yeah, they cut away on that kill, which was kind of disappointing.
And I know they've had to trim these movies sometimes because they were trying to get that R rating. I know they trimmed 3 up a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
But overall, like the effects on this movie are great, and that's the one thing I do like, and I will say about the Hellraiser series: the practical and the gore haven't diminished.
Yeah.
They do stay pretty well true
maintain.
to like the original style, with working within like what budget constraints they do have.
One small problem I did have with the effects, it goes towards the makeup effects, because this is where I noticed that either they were shooting Pinhead a lot closer than they normally do, or they changed the look because they changed the coloration.
Well, they did
did.
because he was having like he was basically like the prosthetics and whatnot. They made it easier for him to get on and off because of how long it.
But it
took.
made it look like bluish, and then his eyes, like, because you could see that there was a line around his eyes where the prosthetics went. His eye sockets, not just his eyes, but his eye sockets were a different color than the actual prosthetic.
They definitely dropped it low to like the cheekbone versus like underneath the eye.
They shot him too close because it was very apparent to me.
Yeah, and that's where not even blending if you were that up close would have really helped.
So that was a bit of a disappointment. But otherwise, I dig this movie. So
Cool.
why don't you guys let us know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on Hellseeker? We still have
Four
more.
Four more.
There's 4 more?
Yeah, there's 10.
Because I have 7, 8, and 9.
You have-
you lent me.
Yeah, because I don't have Judgment. I didn't. Oh no, I do have Judgment,
Was
but I
it
have it on
Salvation
Blu-ray,
or-
not on regular
Salvation
DVD.
or Judgment was the last one.
No, Revelations, and then Judgment was the last.
Oh,
one.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, you have Deader, Hellworld, Revelations, and Judgment to do.
Holy smokes.
Cool, man.
All right.
Yeah, and these are not the good ones. So actually,
honestly,
to be honest, Hellworld is my next favorite after.
I would say
Hellseeker.
I am
haven't seen
looking
any of
forward
these.
to watching Hellworld just because we have a young Henry Cavill in this.
And Lance Henriksen.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
well, not so young, but we have Lance Henriksen.
I didn't mean a young Lance.
I just love
Henriksen.
Lance Henriksen.
I
said
say
and Lance Henriksen.
Fucking Pumpkinhead. like-
I forgot that Henry Cavill was in it though.
I was looking at the
IMDb.
IMDb. I was like, oh shit.
I
didn't know
remember
that.
next to like Hellworld is cool because it's like it's like a reality show that the Cenobites.
Oh, jeez.
It's like the Halloween with Busta Rhymes.
Oh,
It's
God,
like a
yeah.
reality
See,
show.
I never
Halloween
watched
Resurrection.
that one.
Yeah, it's the one where there's a reality show and the Cenobites invade,
Okay.
or something like that. So
Jeez, well,
it's I'm excited about
Something different, I guess.
Cool bands.
that. I remember literally nothing about Deader. Like I don't even remember that
I've never
story,
seen
so.
anything from Dead or On.
Okay.
So
Well, it's
I
gonna be
haven't
it's
seen
gonna
any
be
of
all
these.
new
It's
for me.
gonna be an
good
adventure.
reviews. So, all right. So thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird,
And I've been Robert Duell.
Gracias, Jaime, and Fuego.
and remember, stay scared.